So I am sitting by the ambulance bay right now waiting for my husband to arrive. We're going to spend another night, it looks like, in the emergency room. His nurse said that his temperature was 101, his heart rate was about 110, and his O2, his oxygen saturation, was going below 90. Yeah, he was fine earlier today, so we're thinking that maybe he aspirated, basically like saliva went down the wrong way and stayed the wrong way. So I am waiting for him to arrive. I beat him to the hospital. So hopefully this won't be, he won't be admitted. Hopefully they'll be able to figure out what's wrong and send us home and to bed. And as far as reading goes, I'm reading The Library of Lost Things. No, The Library of Lost and Found by Phaedra Patrick. And so Sam will just read that with me. And he's always happy to read whatever I have to read to him. So my husband is back in the hospital with pneumonia. I got a call about 10:30 last night that he had a fever and his oxygen was low and he had a high heart rate. So we got here around 11 o'clock last night. I was able to leave just after 4 in the morning, went home and slept for a few hours and came back. He is right now having a bronchoscopy, which is like they kind of flush out and vacuum out in his lungs, basically. To help get some of the goo out of there, essentially. Some of the bacteria, some of the secretions. And so I am chilling in his room. I just started Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. And he and I are reading together The Library of Lost and Found. We have been reading How Not to Die Alone together, but that is at his rehab home, and I didn't have it on me. So, so we have that all going on right now, so hopefully this won't be a very long hospital stay, but we will have to see. Check in with you later. Look who woke up, Mr. Sleepyhead. How you feeling? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Thumbs up. Alright. Do you want to get back to reading? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Yes? Alright. Are you enjoying The Library of Lost and Found? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Yes. Alright. Sam can talk, but he's a little bit gurgly right now in his voice, and sometimes it could be hard to understand him. So we use some hand gestures. So 1 for yes, 2 for no, thumbs up, thumbs down, that kind of thing. So, all right, peace out. Deuces, baby. It is now Wednesday morning. His temp is normal, and he's on antibiotics, and they're working on, getting him better. So he is there asleep right now behind me. So what am I reading? So the two of us together have been reading the book that I had started on my own before, and that is The Library of Lost and Found by Phaedra Patrick. So a library volunteer who is also a bit of a doormat discovers that her grandmother, that she has believed has been dead for 30 years, may actually be alive, or could that be hoping too much? She receives a copy of a book that is signed by her grandmother and dated 3 years after she supposedly died. So we follow the mystery of that, her discovering whether or not her grandmother is alive, and secrets in her family and all that. And my husband's enjoying reading that with me. While he's asleep, I just picked up Riley Sager's Lock Every Door, and I'm just barely into it. So this what's her name? Jules, our main character, is 25, and she's pretty hard up right now. She lives in New York, and she sees an ad for an apartment sitter at the Bartholomew, and she's supposed to live there for 3 months, just kind of occupy the space so it doesn't seem vacant. And she gets $4,000 a month to live in the top floor of this historic luxury building overlooking Central Park. And she doesn't seem to be thinking this is too good to be true, and it certainly sounds like it is. So interested to see what's going to happen there. So we're basically hanging out today. He'll probably have a procedure later today to remove a long-term IV that's in his chest right now, and he'll have to get an IV like in his arm or hand or something like that in order to continue receiving his IV antibiotics. So we're just basically here to hang out, rest up, and get better. Check in with you soon. So Sam and I are here in the hospital still. He's doing really well. No fever or anything. He's getting better, but he still needs to be in the hospital for 2 or 3 more days probably. So we are making the most of all of this idle time with lots of reading. So yesterday we finished The Library of Lost and Found and really loved it. Sam apparently is a very harsh critic, and he gave 2.5 stars. I'm like 3.5 to 4 stars on it. It was very good. There were some real dramatic moments and like jaw droppers. Actually, at one point we were reading and the housekeeper was in here, and so she was in here mopping the floor, and I ended on kind of a little bit of a plot bomb was dropped, and then I closed the book right after that because I needed a voice break, and the housekeeper was like, "Oh man, the plot thickened." She's like, "I've only heard like 2 pages of this book and I'm already invested." So I really, really enjoyed it. I'm thinking 4 stars. So now we had just started this morning, Vintage 1954. This is a, where'd Sam go? This is a French translation, and it's like a sci-fi historical fiction kind of deal. So we start off in 2018, kind of present day, and then there's like this magical bottle of wine or something, vintage 1954, and it's going to take this group of people back to Paris in 1954. So we have time travel. We're not there yet. We're still being introduced to the characters at the moment. So there's going to be time travel, and there's already been talk of UFOs, and it's been a fun start. So there's lots of French names, which is challenging I don't know any French, so I'm just making up as I go along. So Sam, time travel in Paris. Are you down for that? You know it, baby.
Hello, it is Friday morning, about 9:15, and Sam is still in the hospital. He's doing well, but as he is so medically fragile, when he gets sick, he has to meet quite a high bar before he can be discharged. And so there's a few things that we're waiting on. I won't get into great detail about just the ins and outs of it, but he is getting better, and they just have to make sure that he's going to be very better, and he's going to still have to go home on IV antibiotics. So he has a procedure called a bronchoscopy at 2:30 today. So they basically kind of wash out and deeply suction his lungs to help him breathe more clearly and deeply, and help him to oxygenate his blood better, and then also get any of that gunk out that is going to be become pneumonia, basically. So he is sound asleep right now, and I'm going to sit here and continue reading Victor Hugo's The Hunchback of Notre Dame, or Notre Dame, and I was doing the read-along with Mara at Books Like Whoa, but I totally got behind, so I'm like 3/4 or so, maybe 2/3 of the way through this right now, and it's not always enjoyable. There are bits that I really enjoy. It's also kind of fun because as it is about the cathedral, or much of it revolves around the cathedral, I'm also rereading The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett, which is about the building of a cathedral. So a lot of the architectural information is similar, and there's a bit of an overlap, so that is quite interesting. And then if I get bored of that and Sam's still asleep, I'll get back to Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. Which that's what I more want to read, but I know I should get some of Hunchback read. So I'm going to carry on with that right now, and we'll check in later and show you what Sam and I are reading together. Hello, so here we are. It is Saturday at about 10 to 3 in the afternoon, and Sam is up in the chair, seated. You can tell he's not in the bed, he's next to the bed, and we just washed his hair and shaved him, so he's looking fresh and boyish again, right? Can we give us a smile? Cheese. There we go. Fresh as a daisy. So we have made a good bit of progress on Vintage 1954 right now, our time-traveling Paris book with UFOs. So we're only about 40 pages away from finishing this book, and it goes really fast. So we might actually get to finish this today. If not today, then tomorrow. And then we're gonna have to figure out what else we're going to read. So maybe I can twist Sam's arm into reading Hunchback of Notre Dame with me, so I have more time to devote to that book. That might be the most time efficient choice, I suppose. Although not the most entertaining choice, but Sam might be really into it. Do you think you'd be into reading Hunchback of Notre Dame with me? Really, really loud. 1, 2, 3. What's the first word? Not really. Wait, what, say it again? Not right now. Well, yeah, not right now. When we finish this book. Do you think you'd be into it after we finish this book? No. He's not into it right now. You gotta be in the right mood for it, right? So we'll figure out what it is we're gonna read next. So we're looking at maybe getting out of here in the next couple days. Sam's doing really well. So today was the first time the doctor was actually talking about, all right, yeah, we're hoping to get you out of here in the next couple days. So I guess we'll see you again tomorrow. Good morning. I just got to the hospital. I dropped off some overdue library books on my way here. Support your local library. Turn your books in late.
and then pay those dues. So that's happening. Sam must have had a good night last night because I didn't get a phone call. So that's always a wonderful thing. So I'm going to go ahead in there and see what the deal is today. And, silver lining of a hospital stay is as long as things are going smoothly, we get lots of time to read. So check in with you later. Five more. One more. Good job. Okay, so I am now quite horizontal on my couch. Got home from the hospital about 25 minutes ago or so, walked Stevie, and I just edited a very short Reading Rush TBR video that I filmed while cooking dinner last night because I have just very little spare time at the moment. So I just polished that up. I am uploading it as we speak. Hey, buddy. Hi, honey. Yeah, I'm uploading that right now, and then while that's uploading and I do the thumbnail and everything for that, I will read some. Laying down is not the optimal position. Okay, I will read some. Whoop, backwards. Hunchback of Notre Dame. Get doggy kisses. Hello. And read some Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I'm not really far into this. I'm like about 85 pages in, I think, and nothing like creepy has happened yet. So, but then Sam and I did finish Vintage 1954 earlier today. I think we read like 80 pages today. It moved really fast and was quite entertaining. So Sam was too tired by the end of the day to give me his real thoughts on it. And the trouble with his brain injury is he has very poor short-term memory. So for him to remember like how he enjoyed a particular book, especially kind of a shorter book where we were only in that book for I think 3 or 4 days, as opposed to reading a much longer book, and especially a series, he has much longer time to for the memories to kind of settle in, and for him to kind of internalize the story a lot better. But he loves time travel, and there was time travel and a flying saucer and this group of people who basically became friends and fellow adventurers in Paris, and so that was really enjoyable. So I think I'm thinking like 3.5 stars for this right now, and I'm interested to read more from Antoine Lorraine. On the back of the book here, there's a few of his other books, and this is a French translated book, and it says best-selling author of The Red Notebook, which is one of those back there. So I don't know if those are on the back are a series or if these are all standalones, because this, as far as I can tell, this seemed to be a standalone as well. So I hope you're enjoying my like neck shot here. So on my TV, I just pulled up YouTube, and so I will probably watch some Reading Rush TBRs and whatever else is up there. I see Rachel Colinati's Reading Rush TBR is up, so I'm sure I will watch that. And then earlier today, Sam and I watched Murphy Napier's review of Misery, which was entertaining. And then here's my kind of iMovie screen right now. That's the one that I just I'm uploading right now. So I need to make the thumbnail for that and do the description box and all that for that while that is uploading. So thank you for indulging me for this horizontal update, and I'm going to get a little bit of this booktube work done and just enjoy an evening of reading. This is my wild Saturday night.
Good morning. It is July 21st and we are still in the hospital. My husband is sound asleep right now. It's about almost 9 o'clock in the morning, and I just stopped by his rehab home to shop his bookshelf there. We're only like 40 pages away from finishing How Not to Die Alone. And so it's been so long since he's been a part of that story that I think I'm just going to finish this one on my own today. And then I picked up some others. You might be interested. We have Scythe, Dune. This is a library book, Machines Like Me by Ian McEwan. And then what I plan to read for part of the reading rush, of my reading rush TBR, is Martha Wells' All Systems Red. So it looks like we're going to have a lot more hospital reading in our future. So it is now the evening of July 21st, Sunday evening. Sam just got up in the chair. Our moms came to visit us earlier. They were both here at the same time. So we had a nice visit with them. And now we're going to hang out for about the next hour or so with Sam up in the chair and read. So I gave Sam a choice of those books I showed you earlier, and Sam chose to go with Scythe. So we've just started this. We're like 15 pages in. So we have the world where humans have conquered death and illness, and essentially they have learned everything there is to learn. And so what's the point anymore seems to be the way we're starting. But also because there is no illness and death, they need population control. So scythes have the honor of gleaning lives in order to, I guess, preserve the resources for those who are left. So are you excited about the premise of this book? Oh yeah? Can we... What? You know it. Have you ever read any young adult fiction that you know of? Like young adult fiction, young adult wasn't like a category when we were growing up. So the first I can think of is Twilight. And I was 23, I think, when I read Twilight. My cousin, actually in the hospital, my cousin brought it to me. She was the demographic at the time. I'm 9 years older than her. So yeah, I don't think Sam has ever read anything that would be considered YA other than like maybe some old classics like, you know, Robinson Crusoe or something, but that's not like a YA book. So Ender's Game, perhaps. We read Ender's Game a couple years ago. So anyhow, we're going to get cracking on Scythe.